Bienvenue, welcome once again to another Love Entrepreneurs show with Ellery Coslet. And today's special guest is Kay Reeve, the emotional awareness specialist. So what we're going to do is talk a little bit about the Big Fix, why it's important, and then potentially we'll go through why Kay Reeve found the Big Fix to be beneficial and perhaps even some of the results that came out the other side. Ellery, talk to us some more.
Hello. Well, I would like to go straight to the emotional awareness expert and ask her directly. So, how did Love Entrepreneurs change your life? If I may be bold as to say so, it probably didn't change your life at all, but it might have contributed to changing your business and maybe making you think differently about things.
Yeah, thank you. Hi, Larry, and hi, Gareth. Absolutely, has definitely made me take a fresh look at my business. Because when I did that first presentation, I was still finding it difficult to explain who my audience was precisely. I still had some very clear ideas where I wanted to go into the business, but it was taking those steps, and I was finding some challenges in reaching the ideal clients. And after doing the Big Fix, it made me reassess my message and my audience. And the minute I did that, like I've got clients just coming at me instead of me chasing them. It just turned everything around massively. And I'm really looking forward to where it's going from here. So thank you.
Well, that's brilliant. So, what can I just ask you out of interest? Because, of course, I don't know this, neither does Gareth, but out of interest, what was, do you think, the change that happened? What were you not doing, maybe, that the Big Fix told you to do?
I think for me, it was not connecting with the right message that people would relate to. And I was looking at doing one-to-one work and then moving forward to working with therapists and teachers and support workers later on. And it actually gave me the confidence to realise that what I had as the first step in my business was really hard work to do that. And I already had the knowledge and the tools and the audience around me for me to skip that step and move on to the next one. And I was thinking I'd got to do it in this process. But it was something about those conversations in Love Entrepreneurs that just boosted my confidence. It helped me re-evaluate where I was in terms of the support I already had and shift my mindset about how I can step forward. I can be confident. I am entitled to do this. Other people need what I've got. And it just really did. I say for me, it was sitting back and having a really big reevaluation over everything I'd done. And this is like 9.5 years in by this point. And now all of a sudden I've just made so much progress in the last few months that, yeah, it's taken me by surprise.
It never ceases to amaze, I suppose, Gareth or I, that it does take, and I think this is the thing about a Big Fix. It's not like I could do one tomorrow and it would reinvigorate the way I look at things, and I think this is something that we all need to start doing. I probably need to do one on my legal business, but I'm a bit scared that I'm going to be deluged by ideas I just don't have the time to implement. That's the reality. But I think it's good because it can shake things up and shake the thinking up. And what I particularly liked about it when I did mine ages ago was that they came up with ideas I hadn't even thought about. I really had not thought about. I just, having a business looked at totally from somebody else's eyes, but not in the way that they're saying to you, oh look, your website is crap, or this, that and the other is rubbish. It's more about saying, hey look, this might need to be changed, but the reason we're going to change it is because we want that and that and that to happen. When you can see the reason why people are saying things, you can see the outcome, if you like, it makes so much more sense, I think, rather than just criticizing things. Because it's so easy to criticize and say, oh, well, that's rubbish, I do this. Well, until you understand, nobody wants to be criticized. Until you understand why you're making a suggestion that something should change, it's not going to make any sense. And you're just going to sort of take it on board yourself as a oh, they're just criticizing me, it's awful, and that's not what we're trying to create here at all. We're trying to really make businesses really better and thrive, not just survive. So I think it would be useful actually if you could tell our audience what exactly you do, because I know that they don't.
Yeah, and that was the biggest challenge when I came into this a few months ago, was trying to help people understand that. So as an emotional awareness expert, it is an unusual title. It's one that really suits what I do, but not known of, and that's why it throws people. If you say counsellor or therapist or a brick builder, people understand that. But emotional awareness expert comes from when I was trying to support my son through 12 years of suicidal depression. And it wasn't until he was sitting in the car with me for 3 hours one night, suicidal yet again, that I realized he couldn't understand his emotions because he couldn't see them.
Oh God.
That led me on this journey to discovering how I could teach emotions visually. But it didn't just save my son. I realized it was affecting his friends positively. He was supporting them. And I thought, I need to do something with this, when I realized the power of what I'd created. And so I kept working on it and kept working on it. And it took me 2 or 3 years to develop the strategy. And then I had some other life challenges kind of got in the way for a few years. Then I was ill for a few years. So last year I had to kind of restart again. It was the third time I restarted the business, but I'm not giving up. And so with the emotional awareness, what I now do is I help adults. Now, they are either parents or supporting teenagers and young adults, or they are teachers, therapists, coaches, mentors, managers and business owners, but anybody who is working with or supporting teenagers and young adults who are potentially neurodivergent, whether they're diagnosed or not, whether they're suffering with stress, anxiety, depression. And this affects how they live their daily life at home, in education, in work. And it's giving the people supporting them a toolkit for talking, to engage in powerful conversation, helps them understand those emotions, overcome daily challenges, and is literally transforming lives now.
Yeah, that is amazing. I mean, we did a masterclass with you, didn't we? You did one very kindly a couple of weeks ago, and that was quite transformative. And I know I really, how people process emotion is really interesting, because I'd always thought that I processed it emotionally, but when I heard you start to talk about color processing, that was really interesting for me, because I could really identify that. And I was thinking, crumbs, yes, that colored thing.
Yeah.
That is absolutely phenomenal. And so when you talked about confidence and the confidence it gave you, because for us at the Big Fix, we were sitting there thinking, yeah, this woman could teach coaches, she could teach groups of people, she could teach individuals. It's about really getting that message out there, isn't it, to as many and as quickly who will listen to you.
Yeah, and it is, and there is so much potential for this because it's so unique. But at the same time, people talk about niching down, and I've had years of people saying, oh, you need to find your niche, find your niche. But every human being has the same emotional cycle. So how could I niche to being human? And this is where I've kind of now looked at the adults supporting, whether it's home, education or work, because they are like 3 niches of being human. But it was getting that message there that, yes, this can help everybody, but making the message so concise that the people who are listening could relate to it and go, oh, where do I sign up? And that's the difference, I think, is it has really given me a really powerful space to be able to share that message in a way that I've had that constructive feedback and really got that. And that was the thing I wasn't getting before, because I wasn't getting that connection with people. I wasn't getting the feedback. I wasn't understanding how other people viewed me and what I offered. But now I get it. I've been able to amend that and change that round to niche down, but still make it available broad scale as well, which has been that for me really has been the biggest challenge. On the other hand, I do something with books. When I say I mentor people who want to self-publish self-help books in the well-being sector, that's very niche down. And that was an easy message. I got that one. But the other side of it, this was a much bigger challenge for me. But it is all coming together.
Yeah, that's just great. And I mean, you've been, I have to say, you're an example of somebody that's just embraced it. You've just joined the community, got on with it, taken action, availed yourself of everything that the community can offer you, done a masterclass immediately. You've got more than 15 people who joined that, whether it was by playback or live, and you just got on with it. And now, and the great thing is, you're a fantastic example of somebody that just takes action. You read that report and you just started to implement things. You might not have implemented everything, but you chose what you wanted to implement and just had a go. And you are now reaping the benefits. I mean, when you talk about mentoring or coaching, I mean, it's all it very much is in life, isn't it? It's just actually getting people to do these things, and sort of giving them a push or a support to do these things. But you're not, you just seized the moment and just got on with it, which was just amazing. So what would you say then was there one thing that stood out for you? I mean, there might not be. I'm just asking. I mean, was there one idea that stood out for you, where you had an aha moment and you thought, yeah, I've been doing this and I need to be doing that?
I think the other thing that really stood out to me as well is the energy in which I deliver it. Really oddly, because when you do the Love Entrepreneurs over the Big Fix over 2 days, I remember the first day I delivered it, the energy was absolutely there in the room, embraced it. And the second time I did it, it felt like it had got torn apart. So I think the other thing was recognizing how to get my message consistent as well. And but if there's one specific thing that changed, I don't know, because there were so many aspects.
On that point, though, that's interesting. See, we do it twice. We do this deliberately. A lot of people say to me, well, why do you bother doing it twice? For me, my reasoning, and you're right, whether it's right or wrong, my reasoning is simply because I want to get you guys to see that there are always two sides to every coin. I can guarantee you that the groups in the first day will come up with a very different solution to the people in the second day.
Yes, they did. But again, that was what gave me the means to look at, okay, so why did those people receive that differently? What did I say differently that day? And why did they react like that to that? And that's as much a gift as the people who praised it up and given me all the positive feedback. So I know I've got, I wouldn't be in emotional awareness if I couldn't take the gift of criticism and look at why I can turn that around and feed that back to grow from it. And so for me, but yeah, I mean, it's a few months ago now, so I must admit my memory does slip a bit over a few months. But I definitely know it transformed how I reshaped my message massively, my marketing, connecting through the networking. And I've definitely learned a lot more about leveraging the network as well. And a lot of that it's not just the message I'm giving out, but working and collaborating with other people has been key this year as well, and taking risks. Yeah, I've been absolutely terrified, but I've took the risk anyway, because I knew if I didn't, I'm going to lose the very thing I'm terrified of if I don't try. So for me, it has been a massive step up this year.
Okay, well, go on, Gareth.
It's really good to see that that having a council of your peers effectively has helped you perhaps see things that you were far too close to, and enabled you to get a different perspective. And I suspect that's the intention of what the Big Fix is for. It helps you that it's a friendly environment and people aren't there to be destructive, but instead to be constructive. So it is good to hear that you found plenty in that you could implement and have done so. And I personally only want to commend you on that process.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
So if anybody and don't forget, everybody out there, this is a free thing for people to do. If they want to do it, they can they can connect with loveentrepreneurs.com. There is an application form on there. If you want to connect, you're very welcome to do so. Kay's details are on the QR code, I think, and
they've put a separate QR code up top right if you want to get in touch with Kay and find out more about her emotional awareness program or any other aspect of what she does. Then the first stage will be to scan that QR code and find your way there. There you go.
Yeah.
So it just leaves me to say thank you to you, Kay, so much for coming along and doing a big fix. How would you, just to conclude, how would you advise others to do it?
Yeah, absolutely. There's nothing to lose by having other people give you their view of your business. I mean, for me, it's like if you're dressing a shop window, you're looking at the backs and the butts of all the models, to really see what you've created, you need to go outside the shop and look in the window and see what the customer's perspective is. And to me, doing a big fix is a similar process for my business. I don't have a shop window, but I do have customers that are looking at it from a different angle. And it gave me a massive opportunity to see it from that side. So thank you. Thank you, Larry.
Well, thank you so much for everybody spending the time with us today. Thank you, Larry Coslet, for coming up with Love Entrepreneurs and all the associated bits, and Kay Reef for taking part in today. And to all of you watching out there, please try and keep your feet on the ground, but keep reaching for the stars. Who knows, you'll catch the moon on the way. And please look after your mental health. Until next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.